Okay. I am very excited to have 4 wonderful pro triathletes up here. But the thing is people really want to hear you guys talk. And so it doesn't really do me a whole lot of good. So how about that? I even give a cheat sheet. We're going to start with Meredith. And how about, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very simple questions. Go.
Awesome. My name is Meredith, originally from Columbus, Ohio. I live in San Francisco now. I'm American. And the key to the race on Sunday is to not melt. That's the goal here, and learn to race in the heat, which is always a goal of mine. And I went to Syracuse.
Syracuse, yep. We got that down. All right. Kevin, here we go.
I'm Kevin Collington. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I train in Boulder, Colorado, from the United States. The key to the race on Sunday is just managing the heat. And I went to the University of Florida.
University of Florida. SEC, there we go.
I am Alyssa Godesky. I am based in Charlottesville, Virginia right now, but I grew up outside of Annapolis, Maryland. I am American. And the key to my race on Sunday, I think they already stole it with staying cool and managing the heat, but hopefully it is going to get a few degrees cooler here for us tomorrow. And I went to the University of Virginia.
Wait a second. What's the date today? Just hypothetically, what is the date today?
It seems that it's June 13th.
June 13th. Does everybody know what June 13th is?
Her birthday.
Her birthday. Yes! And if I could sing any better, I would sing you happy birthday, but I am not a singer, and it would not be pretty, so happy birthday. Happy 21st birthday. She's legal now, 21 years old.
Hey, this is, let's see, my name's Matt Charbot, from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I train in Boulder, Colorado. I'm an American. I guess I'm also a Virginian, which is pretty cool. Key to the race on Sunday is pacing, managing the heat, and managing a stagger rule.
Yeah.
And college, I went to George Mason up in Fairfax, outside of DC.
All right, Matt, you're going to keep the mic here. So I was talking to Kevin, and you guys just happened to be roommates back in the day, correct?
That's right, yep.
Now, I had asked Kevin, I said, hey, if you and Matt happen to be together in the race, are you going to strike up a conversation? And guess what he said? He said, no question about it, Matt's going to want to talk, and I'm not going to want to have anything to do with it. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, that's how it was when we were roommates, too. Kevin would go lock himself in his room, and I'd go over and talk to him and harass him and ask him about his bike and his nutrition and everything, yeah. So Kevin and I would be talking out there, especially since it's a stagger race. We just ride side by side for 56 miles. And then another 13.
Now, an interesting point, though. He had said both of you guys are, it's not like you're 6'4". I don't want to say you're smaller, but essentially, and he thinks that both of you don't sweat as much as a lot of these guys out there. Is that an advantage, or do you agree with him on that?
Yeah, I think, well, I'm a little smaller than him, so I have a little less surface area. But there's actually a lot of shade out on the course.
Do not laugh on that comment. Holly's laughing over that for whatever reason. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry. Holly won't laugh anymore about that comment. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, what was the question?
I don't even know what the question... No, you said something about surface area. So essentially you're going to be sweating even less than Kevin, who doesn't sweat a whole lot.
Yeah, hypothetically. Well, he grew up in Florida, which is a lot hotter than this place.
But he hasn't been in the heat, he said, in about six months or so.
No, he's been training in his, where have you been training, Kevin? San Francisco? That's his secret.
All right, so, and again, I asked you this yesterday, so I apologize to ask it again today. Resting heart rate of 34. That's just...
That's right.
That's God-given low heart rate. Does that translate into a very low heart rate when you're training as well?
Yeah, it does. It's pretty rare. I mean, a lot of the elite athletes will have heart rates over 170, 180, 190, 200. My heart rate never sees 170, so...
All right.
pump as much blood as quickly.
Okay, now we're not going to tell the secret that you have a wedding tonight, so you got to behave tonight now. So Kevin knows that you're going to a wedding. I promised I wouldn't tell him, so I'm sure that he does not know. Anyways, Alyssa, here we go. I got a question for you. You had said at one point, I like this, put me on a trail in the middle of nowhere and I'm a happy girl.
I guess that's a little out of context, but my background is actually ultra running. So for about 5 or 6 years in the later stages of my college days, I picked up trail running and ultra running and ran, I guess to this day, I've done over 40 ultra marathons. So I really like that aspect of kind of being in the middle of nowhere on my own and just figuring things out.
Okay, for those of you that know, this is really respectable, this next one. You got to be really proud of this. Western States age group winner. Even Meredith, who's done like everything, hands up, out, mic out, right? Meredith, that's what you'd say, out. Yeah. Congratulations on that. I know it's been a while ago, but that's something that everybody will respect.
Yeah, I am pretty proud of that one, so I'll keep it for now.
You've got so many things. Naval Academy, we'd just be proud. We'd check, birthday check, Western States check, Naval Academy. You grew up, is that how you grew up?
I did. I grew
Military
up outside of Annapolis, a town called Severna Park, and I grew up very close to the academy, and I actually did not have a military family, so I just saw it from afar, and being an athletic woman, I kind of was like, oh, this is totally up my alley, I love it. And I went there for 2 years, and after probably 6 months though, I knew it really wasn't my calling in life to be in the military, so I stuck it out for the 2 years just to kind of make sure I wasn't going to make a mistake again by leaving, and I did leave, and I ended up at the University of Virginia, which started my triathlon career there, so all good things.
What is the key for you on Sunday as far as the swim, the bike, and the run? If you're going to be on the podium at the end of the day, what is it that has to click tomorrow? I know maybe you're going to say everything, but there's got to be something that you know deep down inside. If it clicks, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'll know in that first, half mile to a mile off the bike. If I have the legs to run tomorrow, I think that's what I want to click.
All right, Kevin, here we go. So it was interesting because Kevin, this is a dream race. Roth is one of them for me and probably a lot of people. The other one probably on almost everybody's bucket list is Alcatraz. Well, Kevin just came back and was in sight of the first and second place guy, took third place in Alcatraz. An amazing race, but completely different conditions this week. I mean, the water temperature alone is going to be 35 degrees warmer.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it was about 55 degrees out the air when we were racing. The water was 60. It was cold compared to here, obviously. This is completely different coming over to the East Coast, and but we race in a lot of conditions, a lot of different terrains and everything. So have to be prepared for everything.
So you and Matt both like to race in the heat. I mean, Matt's over there shaking his head. He's like licking his chops, thinking, "Bring on the heat, baby! Bring on the heat."
I think I don't really like to race in the heat, but I do well. So that's the thing. So in retrospect, I like my results from hot races, but in the moment, the heat just raises the pain threshold just that little bit more.
Okay, so is there a difference between, now, let's say, Matt, do you like to race in the heat, or is it that you do well in the heat? Because now he's throwing it out there, saying that he doesn't necessarily like to, but he does well.
No, I like racing in the heat, and I do well in the heat.
Okay, so you guys are both, all right.
It's like...
So Kevin, I think he's got an advantage maybe, because he likes it.
When you're racing in conditions like this and hotter, your competition just isn't the people around you and yourself. It's also managing the temperature and keeping your core temperature down. That's huge.
All right. So we're gonna come back over to Meredith. Meredith. Okay, so I've dealt with 3 of the 4 of you before. Kevin and I have talked before. Alyssa and I have talked before. Meredith and I have talked many times. And she actually did this very cool thing for us that you can check out. It's basically she gave us 3 tips. I was thinking that she probably would say the very typical things. I'm just saying. I said that to you last night. She came up with these things, and I kid you not, I wrote down 3 words, right? And you're going to have to explain this and get out of this, right? Mustard. Okay, you're going to talk about mustard. gum. We're going to talk about gum. Salt, a little bit different way that you're doing salt. And then we're going to talk about, what are the waffles first? Couple people have emailed, said, I can't tell, what kind of waffle?
V-A-N''S.
Okay, Van's waffles, and what do you put on them?
Nutella and a banana.
Okay, so doesn't Nutella make everything good?
I mean,
Do you
when in doubt, put
okay.
Nutella on it.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk about mustard first, because this is crazy.
Right.
Crazy awesome.
Well, you know, training in the heat is something that I'm constantly working on coming from the Bay Area. But, I mean, I did do a race in Raleigh, North Carolina a couple weeks ago, and I did cross the finish line with mustard entirely all over my face. But it prevents cramping. I mean, neurologists can definitely, I'm not a neurologist, but I've done my research, and when you put mustard on your tongue, it does send a little neurological message to the brain to stop cramping. And I don't know if that's just my head, but whatever.
When do you do it? So when your body's...
The second I feel myself cramping, if I lose my base electrolyte salt, which I did in Raleigh, I had backup of my mustard packets I had picked up, you know, at a, I don't know, hot dog stand or something, and I had them in my back pocket.
Okay, so if you're racing, you and Alyssa are racing next to each other, and she looks at you and you pull out a mustard pack, what would you do? Tomorrow you'd be like, what the heck is she doing?
She's a weirdo. She
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay, so mustard, I like it. So a little mustard pack.
Little mustard pack, base electrolyte salt, yeah.
There's going to be a run of mustard packs here in
There
Williamsburg.
might be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Second is gum. Again,
Yeah.
very
Yep.
off the wall, but it works for you. Talk about gum.
Sure. Well, I always swim with gum in my mouth, and like I said, it's a individual thing because I feel like, for example, in Kona last year, I spit my gum out the first maybe 500 yards of the swim, and I spent the first 40 miles of that bike ride throwing up a bunch of salt water. And I feel like when I have gum in my mouth, it prevents me from swallowing all that salt water. And I've learned that I need it, and it just hydrates my mouth too. I run with gum. I put a fresh piece on in the run. I'm also doing in this phase of chugging club soda in T1, and I know it's ridiculous, but like I said, I have a problem, especially in seawater, so that I spend the first 10 miles of the bike trying to burp out anything before I eat and drink a little bit. So just helps with everything for me.
Before we go on, if any of you have questions, you'd come right up here. And I'm going to start, instead of me, I'll keep asking questions, it's fine. But if you have a question, come right up here, and I got stuff to give away too. So if you come up here, you can ask any of the pros a question. All right, so the club soda, now tomorrow would you do that, even though, because it's not salt water?
No, but I'm still going to do it.
Okay, you're going to do it.
Racing is all about practice. It breeds confidence in your racing, you individually. Everyone's so different. What Kevin can do in the heat, I can't do, and I have to learn how to do it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, let's go back to you. You had said that you are trying to improve on one specific aspect this year. What is it going to be?
Oh, well, I mean, the overlaying challenge is to get basically to the front of the race on the bike. And that means improving my swim, and also the big one is the bike. So that's what I've been doing.
Right. Here we go. Your name and then your question.
Sabrina Adams. My question is for Meredith. I'm currently reading your coach's book, The Well-Built Triathlete. And what is it like being coached by Matt Dixon?
Sure. Well, Kevin and I are both coached by Matt. He has been a newer addition the last year, I'd say. I've been with Matt over 11 years, so he's watched me through I spent 9 years as an age grouper before I went to Pro-Dom for the almost 7 years now. But the thing about Matt is when I went to him, 12 years ago, let's say, and I said that I believe in balance in life, and I did at that time, and I wanted a coach that could create that, meaning balance within life. Like I don't want to be training 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, or whatever it is. Not that I'm not willing to put in the hard work. That's not my point. I wanted someone who would provide efficiency, balance, while still trying to get you where you want to be in your goals. And what is so great about Matt is that he does that for age groupers. I mean, he coaches a lot of CEOs and a lot of age groupers with families, and that's what is so cool about that, is like people who have families and a life outside of their hobby. And I told him initially I wanted to make my hobby my job, and that's what we've done the last 10 years together. So I'm glad you're reading the book, The Well-Built Triathlete. He's known as the recovery coach, which is actually really funny. We have a little laugh about that in our inner circle. He believes in recovery, but he believes in balance within the recovery. And it's not like he won't give you your dog days, because he will.
All right.
Yeah.
This one goes for, we're going to have Matt and Alyssa answer this question. 'Cause I already asked Kevin, do you look at the start list? And because some people don't. Do you look at it? Do you study it?
Of course. I think, that's part of the job now. This is my second year as a pro, and I think when I took that step up, I made a conscious decision to make this my career and to make this my life. And, my goals are to win and to be the absolute best I can on any given day. And part of that is knowing your competition, knowing their weaknesses, knowing, being able to see the tactics play out. I guess learning the tactics of the professional racing side has been eye-opening for me the past couple years. And so the more you know about your competitors, the more you can see those doors open and hopefully jump on them when it does.
All right, Matt can answer it again. If you have a question, come on up here, and otherwise I'll keep asking. Go ahead, Matt. Same question. Because I know what Kevin said. He knew that you were racing.
Yeah, I do a lot of research on the competition. In fact, I've even sent start lists over to Kevin and asked him if he knew any of these guys that I was racing against. I think it was like Austin 70.3 a few years ago, because I was new to the long course scene, and doing research on guys isn't as easy as racing in the ITU, where you can just click on their name and see all the results that they've ever done. So yeah, I mean, I kind of like to know who the strong swimmers are, swim cyclists. If we need to get 5 minutes on a real fast runner coming off the bike, or just to eliminate the surprises.
You talked about ITU. Do you like the ITU style racing, or do you like this where you can ride side by side with Kevin hopefully tomorrow?
ITU, you just ride in one big group.
So you like it?
Yeah, ITU racing, typically you could sleep in till 9 o'clock on race day, race 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, three races a month. You're not real sore the next day.
Yeah, I'm looking at the thing for tomorrow. T2 opens, by the way, 4:30 a.m. Yeah. So do you like to be out front? I'm going to ask all this. We're going to go from Matt, Alyssa, all the way down. Do you like to be out front, or would you rather hunt somebody or be hunted?
I like being up front. As far as being on the front, I kind of like to, let someone else drive the pace, and I'll just kind of go with them.
So second, third, you'd hang there all day until the very end and be happy.
Yeah, I'd rather just play shadow than go off and do my own thing. Because a lot of times you go off and do your own thing, and really you're only 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds up the road, and there could be just a monster group just right behind you. Okay. You might not even know about it.
Alyssa, we were talking about there's an opportunity tomorrow with this heat to do one of two things. One, if you can, it's not like you're going to catch Meredith off guard, but you never know, right? I mean, you do not know what's going to happen tomorrow. But let's say you have an opportunity, and Kevin was talking about this before. If you see an opportunity where somebody's kind of laying back and you can get 4 or 5 or 6 minutes on the bike, there might be an opportunity tomorrow in this heat. A lot of people are going to hang back, but if you get so much of a lead, there is that opportunity tomorrow. Maybe a little bit of a chance. What do you think?
Absolutely. Looking at the field, this is as close to a hometown race for me as I'm going to get. So I've been training in this heat and humidity now for a couple months, which hopefully, is going to be a strength for me tomorrow. And, coming as someone who's not going to lead out of the swim, I've got to take those opportunities if I see it on the bike and just hammer it and know and trust in my training that I can hold on in the run.
You guys have all raced in the heat. Kevin, talk a little bit. We talked about this before. There is that opportunity. 2 kind of race strategies tomorrow. One, everybody kind of hang back, be real conservative. Or, hey, I got this opportunity. I'm going to drill you guys.
That's true. You kind of have to read the race as it's playing out and just see how you feel, and then try and read how other people are feeling, and you really have to make a game time decision on that. But the conservative strategy, as Matt was saying, is just kind of hang in until the last, few hundred meters. But there are other options, but you really have to be careful with those as well.
All right, big loop tomorrow, Meredith, right? Big loop on the swim. Right, swimmers, whatever. we get out on the bike, there's only really one opportunity where you guys are going to see each other. It's a real short, it's near the end. But this four-looper is pretty cool. Is it something that you like, or does it put a little bit more pressure on you?
No, I think on the run having four loops is great. You know, the women's level, the bar, as you always hear, it's been raised. I don't think anyone's gonna outswim, outbike, outrun anyone anymore. You know, I think this is a business meeting for all of us up here, and just like in your business meetings, you have to read the clients and read this. We're reading. This is our client right here at Williamsburg, and I think I like the four loops because you can kind of gauge where you are in the puzzle.
Okay. Do you look at your watch then? Do you kind of think, okay, man, I had 10 seconds on Alyssa, whatever. Oh, now I got 20 seconds. Oh, darn it, I got 10 seconds again.
So I don't wear a watch. Actually, I never have, especially in a half, because nowadays we just kind of have to go full gas. In the turnarounds.
Even on the half.
Even on a half. In a full, if I'd ever wear a watch on the run only, it would be in a full distance race because I tend to go out way too fast and then I blow like a champagne cork 10 miles in. But no, I don't track. At the turnaround, sometimes in my head, I'll go 1001, 1002, 1003, and try to get a guesstimate of where you're at, but sometimes I lose
count.
count.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You don't wear a watch, but you have a mustard packet.
That's right. Is that odd?
This
or
is what's so awesome about you, and you're winning lots of races.
Yeah,
Again,
no watches.
we only have a couple more minutes because we definitely want to get them out of the sun. But if you any one or two more questions, if somebody wants to come up here, we can do it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep asking. Kevin, what is your key tomorrow? What is your key?
I think the key is it's just managing the heat. It's so hot here. This is the hottest place I've been in months. So it's really going to play a big role in the race tomorrow, and the person who manages the heat the best is going to win the race, I think.
All right, Alyssa, I got a question for you. What's the biggest mistake you ever made as an amateur racing?
I think underestimating nutrition, just in general, and being like, oh, I'm doing so well, I don't need to drink right now, or I don't need to have this goo, or I don't need to do it because I'm feeling so well. Of course I can make it the next 3 miles. And then it just hits you that you can't. So, stick to your plan. Never deviate from your plan. The times that I have definitely been my biggest mistakes.
So, Matt, what is do you prepare? Meredith was talking about how she's eating a couple bananas at least a day, right? Coming up to this. Do you eat and drink a little bit different this week, knowing that it's warmer?
Yeah, for sure. Typically, I'll just drink water at meals. Otherwise, I'm drinking some sort of electrolyte drink. Not necessarily a high sugar electrolyte drink, but more something like a Noon or something that you can put a little tab in that dissolves in the water, like Pedialyte.
Noon is great. Noon is very underrated, I think. No sugar in Noon, or very little sugar in Noon. It's just base electrolytes. I love it. It's a big thing. So we're going to go from this side all the way to Meredith. Matt, we're going to start with you. One piece of advice for all of our age groupers out there going home tonight. One piece of advice.
Yeah, get some rest. If you're going to a wedding, stay off your feet.
Who's going to a wedding tonight? I wonder. There you go. See, Kevin's licking his chops over here. He's thinking, all right, Matt's going to the wedding.
I'm just going to church.
Was it a guest plus one? Because I never get the guest plus one thing, but guest plus one could be Kevin. You could bring your old roommate.
I could.
Yeah, you could, but you're not.
I could, yeah, because my wife's not here.
Oh, see, there you go. Guest plus one, you're in. All right, Alyssa, one piece of advice. Thanks again, Matt, for coming out, and good luck tomorrow.
I guess take some time to kind of look around you and look who's at the dinner table with you tonight and thank those people. This is an individual sport when you're out there tomorrow, but it takes a lot of other people along the way to get you to these races and to get you through those training days. So take the time to thank them, because when the day gets hard tomorrow, you're probably going to think of those people, and they mean a lot more than you might think when you're bustling around and trying to get your bike set up and do all that. So try and take a few moments to just let them know that you appreciate them.
Alyssa, thank you for coming out today. Happy birthday to you. Have a great birthday. We hope we see all of you on the podium, but again, thanks for coming out. Kevin.
I think with these 2 transition area races, it's just a little bit of extra logistics. So make sure you read all the stuff in the athlete manual, and then I think we'll have Stu and Sean here talking about it at the athlete meeting in a second. But yeah, just that little bit of extra planning for the 2 transition areas will go a long way and make your life easier tomorrow morning.
All right, again, hopefully we see you on the podium as well. Thanks for coming out, Kevin. And Meredith.
I got 2 quick ones. One, salt your watermelon tonight. I'm gonna go home and have some watermelon and put my base electrolyte salt on it. It's very Ohio of me to do, but I love it, and it helps just segueing into tomorrow. And my other thing is, you know, I can sit here and complain all day about what a swamp that this is right now in terms of heat, but what I'm going to be thinking out tomorrow in those dark pockets when I'm too hot or too this or too that is all those that, you know, I'm in a phase right now where a lot of my circle is either injured, sick, or have just gotten in a bike crash, and they currently can't race, and they would give anything to be out here tomorrow racing. So I guess I'll be thinking about those people in those dark pockets.
Yeah.
Think about yours too.
Yep. And you write actually names, your husband on your right.
Yeah.
And
niece and nephew on my left.
on the left. That's
helps,
pretty awesome.
Motivate me in the well.
Yep. All right, let's hear it for our top pros. Thanks very much. Matt, Alyssa, Kevin, and Meredith. Thanks, you guys. Good luck.